It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Thank you for tuning in to the Sean Widmer Podcast. Today, we're going to teach you about chicken at a fast food restaurant because you need to know so that you can go to lunch tomorrow. Approach it with a little bit of knowledge behind yourself. We're going to talk a little hoops, just a little tiny bit of hoops, and a challenge I'm going to throw myself into that I finally decided today. YouTube had heard me. They'd heard my cry. They answered in the last 2 days, and so I'm going to get into it. We'll talk about that at the end of the podcast. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who's on the Patreon bandwagon, who helps support this podcast, throws a couple bucks a month at this podcast, which makes me be able to run it and afford it. Thank you for that. It means a lot. Patreon.com/Sean Widmer Podcast. You are going to get Trivia 21 this week. There's also going to be an explanation for why it's a little later in the week, but you are going to get it this week, so get excited for it. I think there's some good questions coming up. You can check that out over at the Patreon. We kick off every episode with 5-star reviews off iTunes. If there is a 5-star review on iTunes, a new one, we read it right here, no matter what it says. No matter what, we read it. So let's go look. And there is not a new 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, which means I have to come up with a shout-out today, shouting out Rupp Arena and Kentucky basketball. And that hurts me to do because I'm a Gonzaga Bulldog fan. I'm an Eastern Washington basketball fan. But I went to the game tonight. I'm recording this on Tuesday night. Went to the game tonight with Mike. Coworker John Tyler came with us, and we got to go watch the UK basketball game against Lipscomb. And I just need to say, and I've said it before, that arena is special, okay? It is special because everyone in that arena is wearing blue. Everyone in that arena is wearing UK. It's awesome. So my two favorite basketball places in the world are the McCarthy Athletic Center, where Gonzaga plays. Crazy atmosphere, smaller venue, gets really loud, student section on the side of the court, jam-packed. It is a unique environment. It's crazy. Has to be one of the most intimidating places to play ever. But one thing I've always had a problem with, and this is rehashing a little bit of this that I've done before, not everyone's wearing Gonzaga gear at a Gonzaga game, and that's not the case at Rupp. Rupp has every single person in Kentucky blue. Now, I'd rather see a game at the Kennel. Now, as I speed through this, talking like the Micro Machines guy, Reese Cortoncini will always be my favorite. That's where I went to college. It's where I made great memories watching basketball games. It is a small-time gym for a small school in the farmland, and it is just a magical place. I talked to Andy about it today. We were talking about Reese Court, talking about Rodney Stuckey getting his jersey retired a few weeks ago and stuff. But that place has a magic to it. It is my favorite place to watch a basketball game. Atmosphere-wise, I just mentioned two places that are insane. 22,000 people at Rupp going crazy is insane. The 6,000 at Gonzaga sounds like a million. Those are insane places to watch games. Awesome environments. Reese doesn't get crazy like that. It's not sold out. The upper deck has the big tarp over it because they can't even sell tickets to it anymore. People aren't buying those seats. There's not enough people in the crowd. But that is my favorite place to watch a basketball game. So shout out to Rupp. I really enjoyed the game tonight. Kentucky is good. They're a good team. They're top 10. They beat Duke. I think they're good, not super duper amazing, but a lot of potential. The Mark Pope hire is going to prove to be a great one for Kentucky. A great one. If you're a Kentucky fan, I think you got to be real excited. The future is bright for the Wildcats, but go Zags, go Eags. There's my shout out. Went to the game tonight and had a big time. Had a big time. Mike and I were laughing. The college kids who were at the game, somewhere in the South, there are two cookie cutters. And there's a cookie cutter for the guys who are at college at Kentucky and a cookie cutter for the girls. And they have just printed out hundreds of the same exact person. And you walk around and all of the guys look the same and all of the girls look exactly the same. They're just the same. It's wild. Same haircuts, same clothes, same stature, same everything. It's just crazy. So that was weird. That's a weird observation. And it just when you walk by someone, you're like, didn't we just pass by that guy about 5 seconds ago? Did he sprint back around? Is it his twin? It's weird. Okay, let's talk chicken. I went to a restaurant today I'd never been to. I don't know if it's local, if it's just a local spot here in Lexington. In fact, I probably should look it up. Slim Chickens. Slim Chickens. No, it's not just that one place. It looks like Slim Chickens has a couple different places, or has a couple different locations, for sure in Kentucky. Let's see here. It is a Slim Chickens is an American fast casual restaurant chain which specializes in chicken tenders, wings. It was founded in 2003 by Greg Smart, Tom Gordon. So it's been around for a while. From Fayetteville, Arkansas. Okay, Slim Chickens. I went there today with coworkers for lunch. It's not great. It's not great. Sorry, Slim Chickens. It was not great. It was fine, but it was not great. And it got my wheels turning because everyone at my work wanted to go to Slim Chickens, and I expected it to be blow your mind. And it wasn't that. It was fine. It was fine. So then I was thinking, where would I go instead? Because when you tell someone, well, I wouldn't go, I don't think I'd go back to Slim Chickens anytime soon, they say, well, where would you go? So I'm going to give you the 3 best places, the 3 best chicken restaurants that you can go to that are more nationwide. So sorry to Chicken and Mo in Spokane. You are one of one in Spokane. You don't count on this list because they needed to be more national branded place. So the 3, more natural. I'm just moving too fast. More national branded places. So the 3 best chicken restaurants nationwide in the U.S., fast food style, don't include Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is not a chicken place. It's a chicken sandwich place. That's what it is. Go ahead. You don't believe me? Look at their menu. It's like McDonald's, Wendy's are burger places with chicken nuggets. That's what Chick-fil-A is. They have chicken sandwiches and some nuggets, the grilled ones and the regular nuggets. So you're not a chicken place. You're a chicken sandwich place. You don't make it on the top 3. These 3 are better. Number 3, Popeyes. Popeyes is great. They have the best chicken sandwich, too. And I tried to be hipster guy back in the day when the Popeyes chicken sandwich took over and started the chicken sandwich wars. I wanted to be controversial hipster guy who's like, no, it's not really that great. It's not really that great. Chick-fil-A's is better, dude. A number 1 is better. It's not. Popeyes chicken sandwich is the best chicken sandwich, and it's a chicken place. So you can also get a tender look at tenders. I don't know. Are they called tenders? Chicken breasts, a chicken basket with they've got French fries on theirs. They've got a biscuit in theirs. It's a good little chicken box. So Popeye's number 3. Number 2, and I thought it would be my number 1 until I really thought about it. Number 2 is KFC. Because KFC has the chicken. They've got the bucket of chicken, which is awesome, by the way. But KFC is bringing the side game in a big way. Let me look at the sides for you. Let me read them off so that you can realize the power that comes with KFC. Some of the sides you can get. Of course, they're secret recipe fries. Looks a lot like potatoes, by the way. Mashed potatoes and gravy, which is their mashed potatoes and gravy is killer. Mac and cheese, coleslaw, sweet corn. They've got a bunch of little dessert things. And they got a ton of sauces. The side game at KFC is crazy, so you get that chicken box, and you are going to be in a good spot. But the number 1 chicken place nationwide that you can go to that I would say to the people who go, why aren't you going back to that place you went to today, is Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's slaps. It's so good. It's amazing. It's amazing. It is my favorite Italian chicken place. No, it's got great chicken, first of all, but then what they're throwing into that chicken basket is spectacular. That bread, that Texas toast they've got is to die for. They've got great mashed potatoes and gravy. They've got good fries to go along with it. And the Raising Cane sauce is like the Chick-fil-A sauce where you go, what's happening? Why didn't every restaurant do this? They've got what Chick-fil-A has in this Chick-fil-A sauce. They've got in the Raising Cane sauce. That Raising Cane sauce is insane. So that's my answer to people who go, you're not going to come back to Slim Chickens with us? No, because I'm either going to Popeyes, KFC, or Raising Cane's. Those are the 3 best in the business. Now, I would like to leave things open for ones I didn't mention. I'm going to tell you something. Zaxby's, I've heard of it. There's some here in Lexington. I've never been. Okay, so know that when I was compiling my list, I understand potential holes in this system, but I haven't been to all the places yet. And again, I also understand you probably have a mom and pop chicken shop in your city that is the best. This is more of you can get it in multiple places. So it's got to be a little more national. But come at me with what's better. I'd love to know. Chicken spot. What's the best chicken spot? Fast food chicken spot. Those are the ones I'm going with. Them's my answers for beating out Slim Chickens. Let's get into Kelly's What Are You Into today? I don't have the button working to do it. I've got to figure that out. I'll hold it up for the people watching on Spotify and on YouTube. My little stream deck here. Something's wrong with the file that my .exe file. Something's wrong with it. And so I don't have it going. But Kelly's What Are You Into ends the podcast every episode. My good friend Kelly, when she was giving feedback about the podcast, because I love podcast feedback. Go to Sean'sLife.com, enter a comment. We'll get to some comments here in a second. She had said she liked when I would do a part of the podcast where I talked about what I'm into at that time. And she really likes it when my wife does it, because Anna's always into cool stuff. But we make it a daily thing. Kelly's What Are You Into? Dedicated to her idea. I'm going to get into something, and it is a little challenge, and it's crazy how your phone or whatever listens to you because it's real. When I was young, let's rewind time. When I was young, I was obsessed with comic books, cartoons. I guess not comic books. Comic books, Foxtrot, Calvin and Hobbes, The Far Side. I think when you say comic books, you think of Batman, Superman, which I like those as well, but books that were comics, funny ones, the funnies, the Sunday funnies. I loved books of those. And I always thought they were really cool, really awesome. And it always would lead me when I was a kid into trying to draw Calvin and Hobbes, or try to draw the Foxtrot comic strip, or try to draw a Far Side. And I was also very obsessed with sports. And when you're in school and you have a hard time paying attention a lot of the time, you start doodling. And I would always try to draw someone dunking a basketball or shooting a three. And my drawings were always terrible. So I would try to get better at it, and I would get frustrated, and I never would get better. But I've always had it in the back of my mind that I wish I could draw something cool like that. And I must have talked about it with somebody, because I was thinking about it. I was like, I should try to draw something with my daughter. Maybe I'll get into drawing something with Olivia. She loves to color. Maybe while she's coloring, I can draw. And immediately up on my YouTube algorithm, this guy, JP Couvert, popped up. And I think the thing is, he's into the game world now, but he drew the bottom side, the artwork for a bunch of skateboards that I really loved for Revive, for the company Revive. He sketched out a ton of these awesome skateboard decks, one of which I have, this Johnny Geiger deck. He sketched out a bunch of them. He was the artist behind them. I think his artwork's really cool. And he popped up on YouTube, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's skateboarding with one of the boards I like. And then watched the video, and it was the artist who was learning to do a kickflip. And I thought, what a cool thing. And so I went down a rabbit hole with him, and he is an amazing artist, and he is a doodle guy. And so I watched a couple of videos where he was doodling things, and he's like, look, here's how you could draw whatever, item X. And he does a quick tutorial on it, and I was like, that's really cool. And then of course, because I watched that, what came up in my timeline? Drawing challenges. And all these challenges where someone would start day one, and then they do here's where I'm at in 30 days, here's where I'm at in 60 days, here's where I'm at in 90 days, and compare where they started to where they ended. And I fell in love with these, so I watched a ton of them. And I don't know what my course is. I don't know what my plan of attack in terms of getting better is, but I know tomorrow, maybe even tonight, I'm going to draw my first thing. I want to get a little booklet, little sketch booklet, cheapo one, and I want to draw something every day for 30 days at least and see if I get any better at it. Now, I take all tips, all hints, all tricks, Any kind of guidance you can give me, maybe something you've seen online that's a great tutorial that you think is a good one. Don't just go Google right now, drawing tutorial, because I could do that. But one that you think is actually a good one, let me know, because I'm going to start this and I want to do this, and I want to do a 30-day drawing challenge to up my doodling game. And I like to, I'd like to get a little bit better at it. So as a kid, I just never thought to do it every day because whatever. And now I've seen all these videos and I've been impressed by a lot of them. It was great. Some of them were really cool. Some of them, the person got a lot better in 30 days. And a couple of them, they are how I assume my journey will go. And they were just minor, and it's just a little tiny bit better at the end of 30 days. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to give it a try and get back and get into the drawing, doodling world, not as a profession or anything like that, but just as a fun little hobby. And then my hope would be to draw a couple things that my daughter could color. That's kind of where I'm going with this, because she loves coloring. And I think that'd be a fun activity together where we're at the table, I'm drawing something, she's coloring, and we get to have that moment together for a couple minutes a day. I think that'd be a good thing for me to do with Olivia. All right, let's get into some comments. It's been a minute since I've read comments, so I know I'm not going to get to all of them because I don't have them all pulled up. You can go to seanslife.com and you can comment there. If you're on Spotify, there's an option to comment on Spotify episodes. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment on YouTube. And I don't know what all I have pulled up, and I don't know what all I have access to right now, so I apologize. Let's see if we can find a recent comment. This is from Ian. He commented over on seanslife.com. This is about the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. We were robbed, but not how you think. The contract for the Paul Tyson fight didn't allow Tyson to be Tyson. Would be like telling Mayweather he has to fight like Pac-Man fights. Okay, so I did see that. I think we covered that a little bit, right? The fact that the glove sizes were different, the rounds were shorter. I've seen a lot of stuff now on the controversy that they think Mike Tyson was pulling punches and Mike Tyson pulled back on really fighting Jake Paul because Jake Paul needed to win for narrative, and this is how Mike Tyson was going to get more money. I love the conspiracy theory as much as the next person. Mike Tyson's also 60 years old. All right, Ian went on to say, Nat 20 Brewing, Geeks and Glory in the Valley are board game bars and Wooden Nickel in Lewiston. I love them. I love a board game arcade bar. I love them. Midnight Pizza Snack is another reason for the smoker. Only has to worry about low hopper alarms. Yeah, Midnight Pizza. I got crushed on that from a couple buddies. They're like, dude, first of all, you don't need any Midnight Pizza. And second of all, you're just clumsy. I don't believe that. The oven makes the sound of the oven turning on, all the beeps are 3 times louder at night than they are during the day. Okay, Sharon said this over on Spotify. How come you have not talked Survivor? Fair question. My favorite TV show. Ann and I are now caught up all the way, so I can talk about it a little bit. How about we wait until Wednesday or Friday this week, and we'll do a recap on all of it, where I can dedicate the end of the show to it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched. So we're not going to talk it right now, but Sharon, it's coming. I've got a lot of thoughts. On Survivor. And then let's go over to YouTube, the YouTubes. Roberta. Hi, Roberta. She says this. Sean, you would get your Bulldogs back in no time. Inquiring minds want to know, is the tree still standing? I have visions of Huck trying to reach the top. Roberta, it's barely standing. My daughter never touched the tree. Huck is in it. He takes off every single ornament every day and tries to put them all on one branch. He has not knocked it over yet. He has not gotten into it yet. The only reason we haven't is he doesn't like the prickliness of a tree on his hands and arms. So he doesn't mind pulling out the ornaments. He loves looking at them. But to reach deep into the tree, it bothers him. It bothers his senses. Thank goodness. Because otherwise he would knock it over. Without a doubt, no question about it. He would love to do that. And then Roberta also said, I don't know what happened to my first comment. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind. Roberta, your first comment was there. I apologize. There was something else. Where were these other ones? There's another one. Jess Petras says fake fight put on by fake fraud fighter and Jake Fraud. Fake fight put on by fake fraud. This is a tongue twister. Fake fight put on by fake fraud fighter and Jake Fraud. I can't do it. I can't say it. Let's see. What do we got here? I think Meso Deadly says, I think Mike tossed the fight. He came out alone. He wasn't hyped on his walk down. And the guy that smacked Jake earlier, the level of intensity never entered the ring. I think he gave up on purpose, knew he could take the L, cash out, and explain it away with age. I don't think Jake was in on it. He genuinely looked surprised when he took a moment to celebrate with his girlfriend. Okay, fair. Yeah, fair. I enjoy the comments. I enjoy these comments. Carol says, this is an old, never mind. Carol, old comment. Love you, Carol. Carol Berry, love you. Haven't heard from you in a while. Thank you for reaching out. Okay, that's it for the comments. That's what we're going to do. If you want to get your comments read or in, go to Sean'sLife.com. Sorry for the frantic pace tonight. I'm just in a frantic pace mood. My wife is out of town for the CMAs, so the kids and I are rolling together this week, and so I'm all jacked up on the energy of children, which will eventually lead to me being so exhausted. But it's drawing day tomorrow, so day one of drawing day. Wish me luck. 3 kids and art. That's what we've got here at the Widmer House. All right, thanks for tuning in. Very much appreciated. Have a good day, night, morning. You're probably listening in the morning, whatever time it is. This is a morning somewhere.